Okay, welcome back to another edition of Tom Talks with the main man Tom at Haydock this afternoon. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy hearing from Tom regularly. Tom, you got a busy weekend outside the UK this weekend. Tell us what you're up to.
Yeah, super busy. Obviously, big few days racing here at Haydock. Sadly, I have to miss out on Saturday, so I'm just here Thursday, Friday. I'll absolutely leg it down to Heathrow, try and get on the 10 o'clock flight out to Hong Kong Friday night to land Saturday night, to where I'll be teaming up with Dubai Honor again. Obviously, absolute superstar, travelled the world. I think it's his fourth time in Hong Kong now, and yeah, taking on the champions and Cheta Cup, and hopefully getting his well-deserved Group 1 over there, making it 5 Group 1s if he manages to do that, which is a big deal. And then I'll be jumping straight back on a plane Sunday night, and I think I'm destined for Red Car on Monday, so I'll be landing at about 6 in the morning and just jump straight in the car up there. So busy few days, but hopefully worthwhile, and got some nice rides sort of in between as well.
Dubai Honor's got some good form in the Hong Kong bars in December. I suppose that wouldn't put him far away.
No, look, it puts him probably as the horse to beat at the distance. You can't get away from the fact Voyage Bowl was a very good horse, but he's been more dominant at the mile and the mile and a quarter, and just whether that mile and a half stretches him out is the interesting bit. But look, I think it's fair to say if both horses turn up on their A game, it's going to be a super race, and there's a few others in there as well. You never forget Hong Kong Derby form or Classic Cup form. It just brings the distance into question for a few of them. So look, it's a big weekend, and one I'm excited to be a part of with a horse that has a great chance.
And you've got 2 other rides on the card at Sha Tin, but I'm not sure how much of the form you would have looked at yet. But how does that process work if you're getting booked for rides elsewhere?
Yeah, look, it's pretty different to here. You don't have jockeys agents and things like that, so you have to chase up. I'll be perfectly honest, this time I wasn't overly proactive just because we're sort of getting really busy here, peak season. The weights are light in Hong Kong, and when you land literally 18 hours before you're going to ride, it's pretty tough on your weight, especially off a 14-hour flight. So, look, normally I chase like hell for a month before and text everybody and try and get on as many as I can. This time I was a bit more quiet on that front. And like set my minimum weight to be a bit higher than I normally would over there, just to make things easier with travel. I think it's fair to say, like, when you're following a good horse over there, you don't want to then ruin your chance on that good horse by cooking yourself for others. So look, I've prioritised the Honour. Been lucky to pick up 2 other rides that look okay. One drew horrendously out in 14, but to be fair, probably wouldn't be without a chance. And the other horse, Galvanic, drew great down in 1. And he's not a bad horse, putting in some decent efforts. So look, two okay rides to support Dubai Honor, and look, he's the big boy and the important one.
Brilliant, an exciting weekend for you, but it's an exciting weekend here for us as well. Hopefully seeing the reappearance of Porta Fortuna, a horse you know well. Where do you think she sort of fits into the mile picture now after seeing what happened in the Lockage last weekend?
Yeah, look, it's a really interesting one, obviously going from that 3-year-old campaign where she raced against the girls except for the Breeders' Cup. She was dominant in the division. Like, it's the only way to sort of describe her. Look, I'm sure she'll be ready for a comeback run. She steps into a Group 2, so a nice place for her to start. Donica and the team know her so well, and yeah, she's one that you'd look forward to seeing back out. As for her campaign, it's the interesting one. Do you go and take on the boys now? And she's an older horse. She's stronger. Look, I watched. Well, I was in the Lockage obviously, but watched it back, and you'd be pretty happy if you had any of the first 4. You'd be surprised if 3 of them didn't come out and win a Group 1 at the distance this year anyway. So I thought ground was a big factor in the Lockage for the winner. But the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are all top class horses, and Rosalien definitely needed that first run back, as did the Godolphin horse, Notable Speech. It's a tough division and a top class one this year.
And we're getting rocking and rolling into the midst of things now with the flat season. 9 winners so far. What are your ambitions in terms of going for the Jockeys Championship?
Yeah, look, gunning to ride as many winners as I can. Obviously, it makes it tricky with trips like this weekend coming up for offer. Do you stay and try and ride a few winners in England, or do you go and chase a good horse? And look, I think it's pretty evident what you have to do when you've got horses like the Honor travelling around the world. Like I say, 4-time Group 1 winner. You don't pass opportunities like that. So look, I'm gonna be trying my level best to get as many winners in as I can and try and be champion jockey. But in reality, I'm going to be subject to following a few nice horses, which I'm very lucky to have the opportunity to do, and hopefully we can make it work anyway.